Hello, kindred spirits, and welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and together we are going to be diving in with your own intuition and mine to explore what's going on in career, home life, and your job, and how those are intermingling and mixing over the next few weeks. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here on the channel today. I do pick a card readings, I have an entire master guide on charm casting, and I also do sprinkle in some for art, magic, and grimoire tours. So feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell if you haven't already as well to stay notified. But today we are looking into career, we're looking into any shifts and changes happening there, seeing how your career and home life are kind of impacting your own personal balance, and seeing other things that might be showing up here too. So feel free to get yourself cozy and settled, but we're going to look at the piles here in a moment. If you want to help support this channel and support my own career and this space, then definitely feel free to check out the snail mail readings that I offer, where I send a letter to you in the mail. It's typewritten on a vintage typewriter, sent straight to you, wax sealed closed for your eyes only. There's lots of helpful and honest reviews over on my Instagram, and I put a lot of time and consideration into each of these readings. So if that's something that you are interested in, then definitely feel free to reach out for your own. And if you're more magically inclined, I have Mabon spell and ritual papers out right now for your own spells and rituals around the harvest season. So definitely feel free to check those out as well to support this space. Plus there's the Kindred tip jar. So with all of that said, let's look at the piles. So as per usual, I will be using runes to do your piles here today for specifically these career readings. So the runes that we have here today for group 1, your rune is Mannaz. So if you're feeling called to this specific rune, then this one might be the pile for you. Here for pile number 2, the rune is Laguz. And it looks like this little L shape. Then if you're feeling called to this one, might be the pile for you as well for pile number 2. And last but not least here for pile number 3 is Isa. So if you're feeling called to this one, then pile number 3 might be yours. So before you start heading off to the timestamps, I like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me so you can really connect with your piles, connect with your guides, and connect with your own intuition. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. Those breaths always feel so nice. But if you are looking for the timestamps, they'll all be down below, as well as through the chapter marks of this video. And there really are no right and wrong rules to this. You can choose all 3 of the piles. You can change your mind. You can flip-flop as you'd like. But like I said, all the timestamps will be down below through the chapter marks of this video as well. And if you're interested, like I said, in supporting this space as well as supporting yourself, then definitely feel free to check out all those different offerings for Mabon spell and ritual papers, rainbow earrings that I create, other fun magical goods, as well as those snail mail readings. So with that all in mind, let's go ahead and get started here with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this rune of Mannaz, then this is the pile for you. We're going to start out by exploring this rune here in a moment to sort of set the stage for your reading, but we're going to be doing most of your reading with different decks over here and the charms, which I'll have everything listed in the description down below in case you're curious what decks and supplies we're using here today. But as always, our most powerful supply is our own intuition. So definitely feel free to get yourself settled, cozy, and comfortable for this reading, as we are going to be looking into your next few weeks, possibly a couple months, looking into any changes or energy to have surfacing for you around career or around your job. And because jobs and careers really are the center of a lot of the things in our lives, it takes up a lot of our time. It can sometimes be a reading on family and other aspects of our lives as well. So we're going to see how it just sort of skitters out from there. But definitely feel free to get yourself cozy and comfortable. But let's look into your rune of Mannaz. So Here is just a little bit of information, some keywords on Mannaz, the main keyword being mankind. Humanity, our differences and our similarities, culture, the whole, and social structure. So this is definitely showcasing that a lot of the changes or a lot of the energy that's going to be surfacing for you over the next few months with career is going to be related to how your coworkers, how you are supporting a team, how management is working, right? The social structures of the environment that you're in within your job or your career here, and how that is all coming to a point, the whole of the situation, versus just looking at you on an individual level. So we're going to be seeing how that comes in, especially if we get a lot of court cards. But that's just a little bit of information to start us off. But of course, we're not going to leave it there. So let's go a little bit deeper. Feel free to connect with the cards here, and we're going to pull a couple just to get us started. So here we go. Group 1 for the next few weeks for career. Any changes and information we need to know. At the heart of it all, you have the 7 of Cups here. I'm also feeling a tingling from this one, so we're going to take it as well, with the 2 of Swords as well. So really nice to see, especially since the 2 of Swords is about making a decision and needing to use your instincts and your intuition to make a decision, to, pinpoint something, to give yourself a focus. And the 7 of Cups is all about feeling a little unfocused and feeling a little skittery. So interesting that those two came up together. There could be some problem solving happening there. And then you also have the Death card. Interesting, because when I started this whole reading, I don't know if you can see this here, but just before I started your guys' reading, this 13 kept just popping up in my vision. And as you can see, the Death card is related to the number 13. So there's definitely something on the way out. It could be something you're already very much aware of because of the fact that you're kind of like seeking things out, trying to find a target, trying to kind of get your toe in the door with something. Literally your toe in the door with the door opening. When one door closes, another door opens. So it definitely feels like this Death card isn't as spooky as it may come off, or as intense or brutal. I feel like if it was a really brutal severance of some sort with a different job that you may have had, I feel like you're going to get either back on your feet pretty quickly, or you're on the process for that already. I feel like this is something that's already passed. It's not something you're not aware of. So if you're not really feeling close to this card right now, it's either something that's literally just about to happen, or it feels like it's probably related to something that you're already aware of when it comes to one door closing and another door opening. So that could be a job, it could be a position, it could be a task or a due date of some sort. It could be related to something very small on a scale or something much larger. But regardless, because that door has opened, whether that's a new project, a new job, a new career path, a complete upheaval of some sort, the 7 of Cups and the 2 of Swords here is telling me that you have a lot of options still ahead of you, that this is not it's not going to leave you high and dry. There's definitely options around you. There are new job opportunities, people seeking you out specifically and trying to get you in. Because as you can see, like, this shop owner is really trying to lure you in with something. Yes, that can mean there are crappy management and crappy people trying to lure us in, but there are a lot of opportunities available to you for sure. And if it is a new project too, it could be that you need to just find your target, your focus. And a lot of this card is about not just trying to focus in on one thing, right? There were so many different opportunities in Cups. Yeah, definitely put yourself out there if you're trying to get a new job or something like that, and needing to send out resumes and things like that. Definitely put yourself out there. But trying to hone in or focus in on some sort of project could also be useful to you as well, or trying to hone in on one specific career path could be helpful to you as well. Trying to find your niche, if that makes sense. But I really feel like there's some sort of focus with this target, right? And what also is really important about this card is they are blindfolded. So they aren't trying to throw at this target literally blindly, but more so that they're using their instincts, they're using their intuition to make sure that they are staying on target, and they're not just taking opportunities left and right, just trying to get the last little bits and maybe putting themselves in a bad position. So when I'm looking at this too, it's telling me, yeah, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, but there's also a lot of opportunities that are duds and aren't really for you. And if you have the availability to be picky, to be a little bit more choosy, as I know we're not all able to do that, dependent on our financial situation. If you are able to do so, definitely listen to your own intuition. Make sure you're listening to your instincts, that there aren't shady behaviors or other things happening in the background, stuff happening, under the fine print that you might be missing out on. So that's really all I'm really getting from these first 3 cards. But of course, we're going to look a little further. Dang, you guys have so many options here that I feel like I'm out of breath talking. So just going to take a little breath here and see what's coming in. Group 1, what do you got coming in for these next few weeks about career? Interesting, you have animals showing up here. Was not expecting that from this deck, but it could be that your financial situation, the change that you might be going towards, could be related to animals. So it could be that you're literally like a veterinarian or you work with animals in some way, and it could be just very literal. Otherwise, the animal feeling too is like an animal instinct that you need to utilize in some way, making sure to sniff out the crappy dud jobs and opportunities and projects that are coming your way to make sure you're looking for the ones that are really focused and important for you, making sure there isn't shady behavior happening, that kind of stuff. Right, animals are a good judge of character in ways that sometimes we don't notice. So even if you're literally taking your animals out and seeing different guides as well that are coming through, right? Listening out for spirit through animals could be important for you in that way to help guide you on your path. But it could also be that this change that is happening could be related to an animal that may have passed, or an animal that you're caring for, even a young one in your life, right, that you're caring for that's caused this need to change or is heavily involved in the situations that we've discussed here. So with that in mind, let's also look at a couple of archetypes. So these might be archetypes of people in your workplace that you are needing to be aware of, or people that you're reaching out to or are reaching out to you, things like that to consider. But otherwise, it can also just be the overall energy going on for you over the next few weeks. Interesting. So you have the orator or the orator, I never know exactly how to say it, with communication and confidence. Interesting too that it came up next to the death card with the skull. But again, neither of these are feeling scary. There's the spooky, scary feeling of seeing both the death card and the skull. It doesn't feel scary. It feels like I said, you have some sort of confidence, or you're really working off your instincts, that you're not as scared. You feel more at ease or more capable or more aware than you maybe were in the past, a little less naive about the job market scene, things like that, with the confidence and the communication, not only communicating with yourself, but also how you communicate with these others, being more confident, asking for what you want, making sure that you're not just bowing down to the different opportunities that are coming forward to you. Things like that are coming forward with this card. But you're definitely in a phase right now where communication is key, which definitely makes sense with everything we're getting here. You got a sword card, which is related to communication, focused communication at that. And then also a lot of people reaching out and communicating with you through emails, through reaching out, through interviews, things like that, or through projects and a change in management, things like that as well, where things might be shifting, you moving up positions, that kind of stuff. You also have the puppeteer here, explanations and apologies, but really what I'm getting here from the puppeteer is, again, someone coming in and being like, this is the best job in the world, but really they're just moving you around. And if it isn't because you're actually changing jobs and it's about a project or the coworkers surrounding you, maybe the advice that is being given to you and you're not being able to find a focus, the puppeteer can be telling me too that there could be someone trying to manipulate behind the scenes and kind of push you towards one way or the other. So really keep an eye out for that. There's an eye in both of these, showcasing, like, again, really your sight is your intuition, is your instincts, and making sure you really look out for that kind of stuff. So let's look at some advice, and then we're gonna pull some extra details with the charm. So, and I also want to explore the rune here as well after we get the advice. So advice coming through for group 1 here. You have the ritual, magic, power, and action. Interesting. That's very different from everything we have here. A lot of what we've had here is, like I said, communication, reaching out. Even the rune is talking about, that social structure, the sort of networking part of this situation that you're in. But the fact that you have the ritual showing up here with magic, power, and action is telling me that you're currently being advised to continue to take action, send out those emails, reach out, look for different opportunities, continue seeking, those sorts of things. But also, if you do magical rituals and things like that, those could be really powerful in bringing more empowerment to your situation, helping you to find and seek the people which are actually good for you and aren't seeking you out in a more manipulative way. And making sure that they find you and you find them. So this could also be really useful if you do any magical rituals or things like that, in which you could do like road opener spells, or you could also be looking into attraction spells or rituals around this new door opening. But I also want to point out is that they have, again, a whole bunch of eyes on their sweaters or whatever this is, a little cardigan, or some sort of vest, regardless, or even robes. Oh my gosh, it's just in my brain now. But the point is, there's an eye, and there's an eye in each of these. So keeping an eye out, keeping a detailed focus, staying focused with your action, with the magic, with the rituals that you're putting in, the time that you're putting in every day, even if it isn't magically, the time that you're putting in, the effort that you're putting in to continue to move forward past the door that you closed and into the next one is really going to be quite powerful at this time. That this is definitely a time of action rather than rest. It's probably going to take a lot out of you as well. But I think that if you get in a routine, that snowball effect is going to really work in your favor here. All right, so we're going to finish up with some charms. So feel free to send your own energy into the charms here and connect with them, and I will pull some for you. So here we go, group 1 for career over the next few weeks. Okay, lots of charms wanting to come out today, which, the more the merrier. So let's just have a little look. Down here next to animals, especially near this black cat or possibly the little owl down here, you have the ladybug, which I always see this as like the little lady luck, or bringing some sort of good luck. Also, it can remind us to kind of, stay... I don't know, there's like a young feeling to this charm. So when you're getting it next to animals, it could be, again, like it's a young person in your life that you're providing for, a reason why this energy is coming forward. When we talked about the animal card earlier, but it's relating to this good luck or relating to a younger spirit in your life. You also have the ancestors charm showing up here to showcase more spiritual stuff. So again, maybe a loved one beyond the veil or that has passed, reaching out, giving you strength, looking out for you in some way. And that's also showing up. Maybe that's why this isn't feeling like a scary card, but rather just a card of already having accepted the situation or working through grief through that situation in some way. Someone may be wanting to reach out and help out in some way as well. Here on their arm, you have the self-love. It's kind of gotten really grubby. It used to be pink, but this self-love little paper clip. So the rituals that you're doing, the action that you're putting in isn't just self-love, but self-care. And I think sometimes we talk about self-care in like a way that is only... taking a nice bath or going for a run or whatever it might be. But sometimes we have to put in a lot of action and effort that can be quite difficult, but in the long run, it's helping you. It's care for yourself in a more difficult, maybe sometimes tedious or or challenging way, but it's a challenge that you know is going to be rewarding in the long run. So that's showing up here. Possibly the actions and rituals that you're taking might be related to some sort of missing piece, because you have the missing piece charm as well as the half of the information charm, right? Because this is only half of a bead. So when I'm looking at this too, it's telling me that you don't have all of the facts. Again, another reason to continue to look deeper into those you might be reaching out to, the people that you're involved in, the contracts that you're signing, things like that, and making sure that you are really going into the details. And especially if you're the one creating the contracts, or if you're self-employed or something like that, making sure you have all your action steps in order here for those sort of legal things. Other things showing up here, you have quite a few on the puppeteer. We've got oh my goodness, this definitely makes sense. So you have both the commitment charm and it falls right on you on this puppeteer. You have the commitment charm of the ring, and then you have the monster charm, which tells me that it's making sure that you don't get committed to someone who is, a really crappy boss or manager in your life, someone who is manipulating you, being a puppeteer, who's adding more stress and adding more commitments and responsibility that maybe you didn't sign up for, didn't realize you were signing up for. So something around there about facts and truth really coming forward a lot in yours. Could be related to someone with the letter V, or a company or things like that. So consider that as well with V coming up. The other two charms you have on here is the key. And this is the key to your heart. So it really feels like someone's going to try to sell you on a job opportunity that you're going to be like, yeah, it's so good, that you're not even going to notice the faults in it. It's a very honeymoon stage kind of feeling to it, because this is the fault in our stars charm. So it really feels like they're really trying to butter you up with benefits or with other things. And so, and if it's to a project, right, you can see however that energy is kind of aligning for you if it isn't that you're looking for a new job. But whatever that new door, that new opportunity is that someone's trying to butter you up about, definitely look into the full details, because that's coming up heavily in a lot of the charms. And then lastly here, you have a couple showing up here on the orator as well, and or the orator. And here in the palm, you have both the mistletoe and the star charm. Mistletoe can sometimes talk about literally timing of like the winter season, but I also see it as like mistletoe can be kind of like a pest to certain trees, right? They can be toxic and poisonous, and it literally like lives off the trees and is sucking the energy from them. So it's really making sure again that someone isn't manipulating, isn't trying to suck your energy out, isn't trying to make it out like you're only working this many hours, maybe you're only doing these certain things, and trying to kind of make it seem very hopeful, make it seem like it's the right choice once you sign everything, and then you realize that it's actually maybe not what they're saying it is, that there are pieces of missing information, missing communication that isn't being given to you. So with all of that said, those are all of the charms and cards that I have for you here, group 1. I really hope that this has been useful and helpful to you and has given you some advice, especially with some puppeteers and things like that when it comes to this new door that is opening for you. If you did enjoy this reading, please consider giving this video a like if you really did enjoy it. It really helps the channel. And let me know in the comments down below how it resonated for you. I'm always curious to hear your thoughts and how it is really coming through for you. Is it about a new job? Is it related to something else? I'd love to hear. And if you are not subscribed to the channel already, definitely feel free to do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated as to when I post, as I put up new videos every single Monday, mostly pick a card readings, but I also do some scattered in ones for art magic, grimoire tours, and charm casting. So definitely feel free to check all of that out. And if you're interested in getting your own snail mail reading and your own personal private reading, looking even deeper into any topic or question on your mind, then definitely feel free to reach out for one of those as well. And I also have Mabon spell and ritual papers that, if you're more of the magically inclined, could be really useful to you. So with that all said, thank you so much for hanging out here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Group 2. If you decide to choose the rune of Laguz or Laguz, then this is the pile for you. We're going to explore your rune here a little bit further here in a moment, but definitely feel free to get yourself cozy and settled and comfortable for this reading, using your own intuition and seeing what comes through, as we are going to be using the charms, several different oracle decks, and even though this is a super witchy deck, I always love to use it for my career readings for some reason, so we're using the Everyday Witch Tarot as well. But I'll have this all listed in the description down below for you, so you can check that out. But we are going to start with that rune, so feel free to get yourself settled and ready for this. And yeah, let's look into what changes in career, changes in jobs, or projects, management, things like that. But also, a lot of the time, right, jobs are such a huge part of our lives. It definitely intermingles with other portions, such as family, home, finances, things like that. So we're going to really see what comes through for you. But keep in mind, this is a collective reading. So if you want to look deeper into anything that we talk about here, or other questions and themes that you'd like to explore, then definitely feel free to reach out for a private reading, for snail mail readings, and to use your own intuition to see what comes through. But we are going to, talking about intuition, look at your rune with Laguz, which can be related specifically to a woman or the feminine energy, if that's something that you follow, especially like divine feminine, things like that. But otherwise, I really like to see it as water. So here we are with intuition, flow, balance, spirituality, dreams, femininity, subconscious thoughts, as well as meditation. And when I pulled this, I immediately thought of flow. So flow and intuition are the two that I'm really kind of looking into for you all. But we're going to see as we go. So let's go ahead and get started. So feel free to send your energy into the cards here. And let's see what pulls itself in back. So let's pull 3 cards to just get the general energy over the next few weeks of any changes or things we need to know. So here you are, group 2, with the number 15, as well as the devil coming forward. It's hard to really talk about the devil without a little bit of context, so let's see what context is coming forward for you. First off, you have the Ace of Cups alongside number 14, which comes right before the devil with Temperance. There's something here about like moderation, reining something in, finding a personal balance and homeostasis here with something that you're feeling really overflowed about. You also have the devil card showing up here, which a lot of the time talks about us kind of being lured into old habits, things that aren't really working for us anymore, but we kind of just find ourselves falling back into them. And so these habits could be related specifically to things that you're doing in your job, the tasks and rituals that you have to perform. But I also am like trying to find a balance there that maybe you're not being able to balance out right now. But this really feels like when you get home, like after you've gotten home, you've, settled down, you've gotten onto the couch, and there's things like you maybe want to get done, things you maybe need to even do that you're kind of putting aside for something else, right? Maybe it's like playing video games, needing to read a book, watching a billion TikToks, getting swamped into something, or just feeling less present with family or things like that. But whatever it is, whatever feels like that icky, almost guilty pleasure habit that you have, doesn't necessarily mean you can't have those things, but there is something about it kind of overflowing and taking up a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, and either kind of totally flowing into your life because you just kind of are in this flow state with it, or it could be just that, like I said, it's kind of getting out of balance. It's tipping the scales. But like I said, this could be something that's literally happening at your job, where there's some sort of habit or ritual that you're that's tipping one way or the other. But it really feels, like I said, like when you get home, when you're settled, maybe a change that needs to happen there around finding some sort of work life and home life balance, or finding some sort of balance when you get home where you can maybe be not necessarily more productive if that's not something you want to do. Some of us get home and never take a minute for ourselves, but whatever that balance is, it's definitely tipping one way or the other. So let's look a little further and see what else is coming forward for you. So group 1, career changes, job-related shifts that are coming forward. Yeah, I just realized I left one over here. Prosperity, that's nice to see. Maybe I'll leave that one out for you guys as well. But what's interesting here, and it's interesting that I put it down the way that I did as well, you have happiness showing up here and prosperity, and they're both like kind of in the same position. If you see how like they're moving, they're both kind of swiftly looking upward. So it's, again, some sort of balance. It's not that you're not being prosperous or you're not feeling good in your job necessarily, or at least those themes aren't really coming up in this reading for you over the next few weeks. But this happiness that you're feeling, this overfilled joy, this, like I said, like it feels like you get home and you want to just immediately dive into games or rituals or like habits and interests and hobbies that you really enjoy, but maybe you're putting off or not finding some sort of balance there. It kind of really depends on each of you. Like some of you, I keep getting this feeling, this pull that like you're doing everything when you get home. You're doing all of the hobbies, all of the family life stuff, all of the dinners, all of the events, still staying social, but like not getting enough sleep or not getting enough rest. Or it's the other flip of the coin where you're like, you get home and you rest, but you don't like get anything else done. And there's something showing up there, but regardless, both of them are related to happiness and that this overfilled feeling that kind of takes over you, like this dopamine rush, right? Sometimes we get a dopamine rush by just watching binge watching a show instead of like getting laundry done, right? Which makes sense. But some of us get a dopamine rush by getting laundry done and also sweeping the floor and cleaning the stove and doing the bathroom and whatever it might be. So that's what I'm getting from this happiness. It's like that you're following your happiness, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but there is a balance of something else coming in here that's going to help keep you prosperous. That's going to help make sure that you are finding a balance between these two things, right? What brings you happiness and what's also keeping you afloat. So those are the two things that are really coming forward for you for these two cards. But I want to look into a couple of archetypes that are coming forward here as well. These archetypes could be states of mind that you're kind of taking on right now, or it could just be energy that's coming forward. We're going to see. But here we are. You have the Herald with small regrets and longing. Definitely getting that feeling from everything we've already talked about here, especially with the duology, well, you know what I'm trying to say, the duo feeling of the two snakes, kind of like, again, finding some sort of balance. Neither one is necessarily bad. They're both equally snakes, right? But like it just kind of feels like there's some sort of tip of the scales and needing some sort of balance here, and that you're almost longing a kind of balance, right? I don't know if you guys have ever been in that state where you keep doing the habit over and over and over and over and over again, but you still, like, a part of you knows and is even longing to try to find some sort of balance, some sort of routine that really works for you. So that's kind of what I'm getting from this one, but let's see what else might be coming forward for you. Ooh, group 2. So you have the King with control and reversal of fortune. So the King is really about, especially with the control, it kind of makes me feel, again, what you're longing for is kind of reining this in, finding some sort of control, finding that balance, tipping the scales back. And the only way to do that is by noticing it, putting in the effort to change it. And that's not always as easy to do as it is to say, of course, but there's this feeling of needing to change routines, change schedules, shift things around, and kind of find something that really works for you. And remind yourself that, like, at any moment you can change. I think sometimes we forget that, and sometimes we fall into these habits and just think, well, this is how it always is going to be, this is how it always has been, kind of forgetting our own sovereignty there. And so the King is really coming forward with that feeling. So to finish off your cards, but we're also going to move to the charms here in a moment to get a lot more detail, we're going to pull an advice card here for you. So what advice is coming forward for the next few weeks for group group 2 for career, jobs, and possibly a home life, work-life balance here. Okay, so you have the 5 of ink, solvent, mistakes, forgiveness, mercy. Yeah, that makes sense, especially with the regret and the feeling of longing that we talked about earlier. So this is basically an eraser and a feeling again that you can begin again at any time, that you can change it, that you, even though these roses are all set, doesn't mean that you can't erase them away and start again. There's this feeling of not everything has to be so permanent, and that you're able to erase things, you're able to change things, you're able to swap things around in ways that maybe you forgot you could. Yeah, it might take a bit of effort, might have to communicate with family members and loved ones and caretakers and other things to try to figure it out. It might take a lot of effort and care, but finding that balance could be really important for you and might give you a lot more, forgiving yourself for how much time you've taken up scrolling through TikTok for 4 hours after work, right? Or just allowing yourself that time and not thinking of it as necessarily a bad habit, if that is the balance that you're seeking and longing for. But the point is that you're allowed to make mistakes, you're allowed to change, you're allowed to fix things up and write new routines for yourself. So that's what I'm really getting from that one. So let's pull some charms to finish off your reading here. So feel free to send your energy in through time and space. And let's pull some charms for you here. Group 2 for career, job, home, and work life. Okay. This one just wants to roll right off, so I'm going to go ahead and set it over here. So let's see. A lot of them kind of stayed in the middle here. I was feeling called to one of these two bottle tabs. You have one over here that is falling right to the center of your entire reading, which is community. And I definitely was feeling that when I was talking about how you might have to talk to caretakers, family members, check in with yourself, see how much time you have between things to try to find that work-life balance. It's probably not going to be perfect, right? We've got thorns among the roses, but I do have this feeling that that the change is really needed for you. Even if it doesn't seem like it at first, over time it's been maybe running you down. So here we also have the letter R showing up here. So it could be, and it literally fell on a rose, it could be related to someone named Rose, or it could be related to your community, this situation, and maybe that's where that change is needed, is related to an R in their name and initials and a company, things like that. You also have the little spirit guide showing up here as well. It could be angels, the fae, other winged creatures and such. But regardless, they're kind of helping you out with the situation, looking out for you right now, possibly sending out signs and signals to shed light on this situation. You also have over here on the happiness, right on their face, on their joy as they're looking up here. You have the pearled heart. Whenever I see this one, it makes me think of love through, love shown through gifts, physical things and tangible things that you can own and hold, right? This kind of feels like, when you go online shopping or try to fill a void in that way through gifts, through tangible objects and things, even though it's not necessarily what you're truly longing. And that's the feeling I'm getting over here next to happiness, that maybe that's part of a few of you when it comes to that habit and ritual, is spending habits and things like that, and how they may be feeling a little bit less in your control right now. And also over here on prosperity, you have a little bit more. I feel like this is just giving us the spirit guide once again. So it really feels like they're trying to help you when it comes to prosperity right now as well, and helping you to, bring in more money, be more prosperous, that kind of thing. And then you also have here the draft charm, which talks about looking from a new angle. And so I feel like they might be helping you to look from a different angle, from a different height, and trying to protect your wealth and your prosperity. To finish off, the last charm you have here is kind of a resistance to change, as you do have like the resistance charm, or I always feel like this little mouse is having like a little nothing's working out for me kind of feeling. It showed up over here next to a card that shows like more of that happiness just oozing from this cup, but right next to that devil card again. So a need for a habit to change and a resistance to that. So I really do feel like you're possibly feeling more resistant, but even though you are longing for a change. So those are all of the cards and charms that I'm really getting here for you, group 2. It was a little bit quicker. There just wasn't a lot to explore. I feel like it was just hammering down the same message over and over, so I won't keep repeating myself, but definitely feel free to have a little look here, see if there's other things that you're seeing, other patterns, other colors, charms, and things that are really speaking to you, and feel free to journal on them or check them out even further. But if you did enjoy this reading, if you got something out of it, I would really appreciate if you could give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below how it resonated, what you saw, all of that. And if you haven't already and you like these pick a card readings that I put out every single Monday, then definitely feel free to subscribe, as I put out new readings, like I said, every Monday on pick a card readings, but I also sprinkle in some on charm casting, on grimoire tours, and art magic. So feel free to stay tuned for those as well by hitting the notification bell. And if you want to look deeper into anything we talked about here, or other themes or questions on your mind, snail mail readings are open. And you're also welcome to check out the Mabon spell and ritual papers if you're more magically inclined and would like to do some magic for the season. So feel free to check those out down below as well. Those are great ways to support the channel, and I really do appreciate it, as it's a way to help you and to help the channel at the same time. So thank you so much for hanging out here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 3, if you've decided to choose this rune of Isa, then this is the pile for you. We're going to explore your rune a little bit more here in a moment. I had to actually sticky tab yours down because it just kept rolling away, but we are going to be using the charms, several different oracle decks, the Everyday Witch Tarot, which is very witchy, but for some reason really works for me when it comes to career readings. Today, that's everything we're going to use, and I'll have it all listed down below in the description in case you want to look at the specifics as we explore career, any shifts that are happening, how it might be related to your home life, your family life, and other changes that might be, if you think about career, right, it starts in the center, but it's definitely related to many different parts of our lives. So we're going to be looking at the central part of career and jobs, but seeing how it continues to flow out as well. And anything that might be coming in, right? We're going to keep it quite open, but definitely feel free to use your own intuition, connect with the cards, connect with the charms, even further beyond the things that I even speak about, as I always like to work together with you and your own intuition and my own. But I feel like I'm chit-chatty with you guys today for some reason, so I'm just going to go ahead and move forward, and we're going to look first at your rune. So this may or may not connect, but I really felt called to specifically your guys' pile. I even put this rune back and was like, maybe this isn't the right rune, and it just kept coming up. So clearly this one really had something to say. So you have the energy of ice with stuck, resistance, habits, cooling trends, hibernation, reflection, and stillness. So I'm not really sure if it's going to be more of the reflection, slowing down, kind of rest part of the ice feeling, or if it's more about feeling kind of stuck or at a wall in some way. So we're going to be seeing how that comes forward as we look at your cards. So feel free to get yourself settled, cozy, and ready, and send your energy in through time and space. And let's pull some cards to get you started here. So, group 3, what do you got coming in, group 3, for the next few weeks in career? Oh my gosh, and you got the Hanged Man. This is the most Isa card that you could have gotten. So it's really interesting. There's definitely something to say. I feel like spirit guides are really calling out to your guys' pile. It came up in a few others, but for some reason I really feel like somebody is like screaming at the cards, pick that one, pick that one. Anyway, someone is definitely working behind the scenes for you guys right now. But you have the number 12 with the Hanged Man showing up first, or the Hanged One, which is very Isa, very much that rune. So we're going to see anything else that's coming up to surround this energy. So group Group 3. I'm looking for ones that are really sticking out. You got the Five of Swords, as well as, let's pull one more here. Ooh, that one flew quite far away. Almost feels like it's something in the distance, time-wise for you. With the number 21 and the World card. So, interesting set of cards. You got 2 major arcana cards, which are really showing me that these are really big themes. It feels like this is the theme you're in right now, but this is where you're like trying to get to. But the obstacle in your path right now is the Five of Swords. So what's really kind of holding you back, kind of holding you in this stuck kind of restful position that we were talking about with Isa, where it definitely feels like some sort of resistance. I don't feel like you're as calm to be in this rested state as they look in this photo or in this drawing. I feel like you're like wiggling around like, oh my gosh, please unlock me. I'm done with this. I'm ready to be done with this. I want to move forward. That's the feeling that I'm getting from this card, is that you're kind of resisting needing to maybe rest or take the time off that you're needing, or looking out for yourself in some way, something like that. The reason why you need to rest, regardless, I feel like there's some sort of resistance. As we're looking at this, you have the Five of Swords. This could be related to why you're feeling this resistance, or what is kind of your obstacle, or what is blocking you right now from moving forward, what's kind of locking you up. And the Five of Swords is a really interesting card in that it really talks about how you're communicating with others. This kind of feels like kind of nasty co-workers, or like a really toxic work environment, or people kind of, it feels just kind of dramatic, this card, right? Somebody's crying in the corner, one person's super concerned, one person's totally taken over and is doing something in this pot, right? There's something kind of afoot here, and it kind of feels like there's just like a lot of drama that's unnecessary, or is just causing a little bit of strife, or causing you to kind of not be able to move forward in your career goals, or not being able to focus in the way that you'd like to, or to move forward, or even just to have peace of mind, to be able to comfortably rest. There's something showing up there. But you also have the World card, and what you're looking for is more of this peaceful feeling. Possibly even a vacation of some sort. They're literally on this little beachfront resort feeling. So it could be that that's literally what you're looking for, is just trying to find some rest, but feeling like you can't rest because there's people in your work environment that are kind of holding you back, or locking this opportunity away from you in some way. Maybe it's down to like a boss with vacation days, some sort of situation happening there. I don't want to go into all the specifics because I feel like there could be a lot of different options there for each of you, and it's probably going to be different. But regardless, I feel like you are looking for that, whether it's actually a vacation, whether it's finding some sort of rest, allowing your body to rest in some way, or if it's just wanting to feel like you can let your hair down for a minute. That's the feeling that I'm getting here. Like at the moment, you're like holding your hair in your hands, screaming into a pillow. And here we've got more of like this carefree feeling, some sort of freedom. And so I don't think that this is just going to switch overnight, obviously, but I feel like over the next few weeks, there's a need for some sort of change from this situation where you're feeling kind of stuck because of coworkers, drama, toxicity, or, literally vacation days and some sort of situation happening there, to being able to feel more carefree, putting your hair down, allowing a little bit of time off for yourself, or being able to just feel more at home at your job. Whether it's literally because you need to change jobs, whether it's because of needing to resolve the conflicts that are happening over here, or if neither of those two things are on the table for you, it could be just when you take time off when you're at home, taking all of that drama, taking a shower, literally cleansing it off you, and being able to not bring work home. You know what I mean? Regardless, it's like a mindset shift, a conflict resolution, or a way in which to feel this freedom. So what else do you have coming in here to give us some tools? So group 3, what else is coming in here for group 3 with Isa for career and job? career and jobs. So definitely feel free to connect with the cards, as I feel a little aloof right now. Group 3. What do you got coming in? Group 3. Ooh, justice. That feels personal. Like, it feels like you know who this person is. You know what I mean? This feels personal, like someone, you finding justice, finding conflict resolution, finding some sort of way of having, I don't know, it just definitely feels personal. It feels like something you really need to sort out with a personal issue happening at work related to a coworker, a boss, or another person that you work with, possibly even a client, that there's just some sort of justice needed to happen here, whether it's literally legal, some sort of legality that's happening here, or if it's literally just, like I said, some sort of conflict resolution, needing to talk it out, having an honest conversation, finding the truth of the situation, something like that. That's maybe the reason why you're feeling a little stuck, is because this justice hasn't been resolved. Very interesting. Because you have so many people involved, I'm very curious to see what archetypes are coming forward for those people, or your own personal mindset right now over the next few weeks for career and jobs, for group 3 here. What else is coming forward here for group 3? Okay, so interestingly, you have the Shepherd, which I wasn't expecting for this. You have celebration and family. And then you also have over here the Air. So maybe it's related to needing to take time off for something related to family, a celebration of some sort, or wanting to be able to just get to that point. Maybe isn't even a conflict, but you're just like hoping to finally get there. You just want the drama over. You're ready for that vacation. You're ready for that time off. You're ready for that weekend to celebrate and be with family. Or it could be that the people who you work with could be family, and that could be part of the issue. So take that how you will. But there also is the Air here with unseen potential. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat, just a second. Unseen potential, as well as hesitation. I don't really feel the hesitation feeling, but the Air makes me think of like a promotion maybe being held back from you, waiting for something that's showing up there, maybe a justice needed there, or that's where the drama is happening, is related to a raise, to moving up in a position, maybe because you're in a position of management or someone else, there's some sort of power dynamic there that is the reason why this conflict is maybe showing up. But let's go ahead and get some advice here for you to look a little further into this and see what advice is coming forward. But we're also going to look into the charms here in a moment. But what advice is coming forward here for group 3? Advice for group 3 on their current situation here with this conflict, this justice, this Isa feeling. Okay. So this makes sense with the subliminal feelings that we were getting here from Isa as well, and the idea of how it can sometimes relate to feeling kind of in a in-between state, right? You're feeling kind of held back because you have the train here, transition, travel, and liminal space. Travel is important or interesting that it's coming forward here when I really did feel that travel vacation feeling that's coming forward from that one. Some sort of celebration, some sort of time off needed, whether it's just on a weekend, whether it's just one day, a couple hours off, needing to just change days with someone, whatever it is. But that's possibly related to this whole situation. And so I really feel like the advice is everything we've talked about here, trying to find justice or just trying to finally get to that day and just working through the drama and trying not to let it phase you. Either way, whether it is that you're going to seek justice and try to end the conflict, or you're just trying to move through each day and try not to get involved in the drama to be able to finally get to this moment, that you can travel or to celebrate whatever that might be, or to rest. Either one of those I feel like are really good options for you to take right now, and I think it's going to be dependent on each of your guys' situation and how serious it may be. But the train is showcasing that you're in a transition right now for sure, and that's what's causing you to feel kind of in between, feeling like you can't move forward, but you're also not moving backwards, but you're not. It just feels stagnant, and kind of just, like I said, you're trying to wiggle out of it and you don't really know where to go or what's happening, but you're just trying to get through it. And so I really feel like the advice here is just to take action, whether it is through justice or just trying to get through it and past it. Either way, that's showing up here. So that's with the train. Let's see if we get anything else here with some charms. So definitely feel free to connect with each of the charms here. Maybe not every single one, but with all the charms as a whole, and we will pull some for you. So group 3, next few weeks for career. Ooh, got the unknown charm trying to fly away. So let's see. Yeah, it keeps just trying to kind of roll off, and definitely that direction. So I'm getting this feeling that something is very much unknown, which definitely makes sense with everything we've already talked about. We just feel kind of, again, in this liminal unknown space. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know which way the wind is going to blow, but you know that you're seeking freedom, you're seeking justice, or you're seeking to move past or through this drama. So that's coming up here. Other charms that you have here, you have the present charm. The present can represent gifts given or looking to be gifted with something. So it's interesting, especially when it came to the idea that this card could be related to getting some sort of raise or wanting to get a promotion or move higher up in your career, or some sort of change there needed related to power dynamics that are kind of drama filled right now. Makes sense with this present. Like, you want to be presented with this, you want to be able to enjoy this, but it's really hard to unwrap the present when it's, littered with all this drama above, and this feeling of unknown. You also have the magician charm showing over here. It's getting really grubby. I need to clean some of these. I had a wax candle in my charms for a while, and so it's kind of gotten wax on some of them. But regardless, this charm can relate to the magician card, and the magician card is talking about resourcefulness as well. So if you are going to take specifically legal action, or if you're going, not that I'm giving legal advice here, really, just what the cards are saying, is to maybe use your resources to the best of your ability, and also to just use resources and resourcefulness as a part of your advice here with this transition that you're moving through and the different options you could take. And then the last charm that you have here, because you only had 4, you have over here on the shepherd with celebrations and family, the bobby pin charm. And whenever I see this one, it can represent selflessness, or wanting to be there for someone in a very selfless way, not trying to be in the spotlight. You just want to celebrate someone. So it really feels like it isn't related to you. This celebration or this vacation or whatever it is, it's not related specifically to you, but you still want to celebrate someone. You want to be there for someone. And that's the situation that's sort of showing up here. So those are all of the charms and cards that I have here for you, group 3. If you did enjoy this reading and you found it useful or helpful in any way, definitely feel free to consider giving this video a like. It really helps the channel and I appreciate it so much. And if you want to let me know in the comments down below how it resonated for you, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well, especially with this one, because it kind of went in a lot of different ways, but the core was that icy feeling. So definitely feel free to let me know. I'd be curious if you're open to sharing. And if you are interested in these pick a card readings, I put out new readings every single Monday that you might enjoy, on career, on love, on spirituality, on 2 week ahead readings, and more. So definitely feel free to subscribe, as I'll put out more readings every single week. And I also sprinkle in some readings on art magic, grimoire tours, and charm casting master guides. So feel free to check all that out as well. And if you want to support this space even further, the Kindred tip jar is down below. Snail mail readings are open if you're interested in looking into a more private and personal reading that's very special and sent directly to you in the mail. Then definitely feel free to reach out for those. And if you're interested in more of the magically inclined things, then feel free to check out the Mabon spell and ritual papers that I hand make myself for you. So feel free to check that all out down below. Helpful reviews down there too on my Instagram. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.